I'm Jenny Ely. I work at ILMxLAB, Lucasfilm's immersive entertainment studio in San Francisco, California. Get in the Door is shining a spotlight on the talented teams at Lucasfilm and Industrial Light and Magic's global studios who bring your favorite films, games, TV shows, and theme park attractions to life. Today, I'm talking with a few members of ILMxLAB's production team in San Francisco, California. Let's meet the crew.
My name is Corinne Tejada. I'm a production assistant here at xLab, and I've been at the company for 1.5 years now.
Hi, I'm Sarah Barrick. I'm a production manager at ILMxLAB. I've been with the company about 4.5 years.
Hi, I'm John Romulo, a senior production assistant at ILMxLAB, and I've been with the company for 1.5 years now.
Hi, I'm Sharif Fatu, senior producer at ILMxLAB, and I've been with the company about 3.5 years.
Tell us, what is ILMxLAB?
So ILMxLAB is Lucasfilm's immersive entertainment studio. And that's where we make our content in virtual reality, mixed reality, augmented reality. And the focus is really on putting the player and the users into the worlds that they've come to know and love and create those experiences that immerse players in a way that they haven't ever before.
What is the difference between AR, VR, and MR?
So virtual reality, you are totally in a digital space. AR is augmented reality, and that means you have the real world with you, but you also have bits and pieces of the digital world placed in that as well. And MR is mixed reality. It's going to be a mixture of all of those.
What other kinds of disciplines do production workers interact with?
Production workers get to interact with all the disciplines actually, and it's really amazing to be able to work with designers, from engineers to the environment artists as well as concept artists. So we're able to interact with almost everyone.
As Corinne said, designers and your artists, and you have a huge team that you're working with. But also you're working alongside people that are external. So you may have an external director, you may have external talent or actors that you're working with as well.
Give us an example of a time that your team worked together to get something done.
We recently had to collaborate to put a demo together for one of our products that's currently in development. And so that brings all of production together to make sure that we're in alignment on our milestones and that we're tracking towards the date that we've decided for the delivery. And then we check in with our teams and make sure that they're not blocked and that they feel good about the milestone that's coming up, and then that their work is also on track to be delivered.
How do visual effects for an immersive experience differ from a film?
With the immersive experiences that we're building, we're in real-time development. And a lot of the experiences that we have interactive components. We've seen the film industry moving very significantly into virtual production, which is awesome. And so the lines are getting more and more blurred. But currently, from the interactive standpoint, we do have factors such as performance, specific hardware specs, what platform we're building for, that kind of put some constraints around what we can do. But we're always pushing the boundaries on what's possible there. But a lot of the skills translate, because ultimately we're trying to make things that look awesome. So traditional VFX artists and other people, that is at the heart of what we're trying to do, is to make beautiful content that's cutting edge.
Can you explain to us what you mean when you say real time?
So everything is rendering in real time based on where the person in the experience is looking. So anywhere that they look at any time can basically be brought into existence in the headset. So it's not something like a film where you can run it all out in advance and the frame rate's going to look good and everything is actually as you expect it. There's a lot of variability in the experience when you have a person in there who's looking around and sort of choosing where the camera is.
I want to talk a little bit about your individual journeys and the things that brought you into this industry, things that brought you into production.
My last quarter of undergrad, I did not like my degree, so I decided to go into the graduate program and studied animation production management. In my last semester, I learned what VR was, and I was very intrigued by it. So I decided to apply to VR studios, and here I am.
What was your undergrad degree in that you decided not to pursue?
Graphic communication, and I studied UX UI. And I hated being at a computer designing things, and now I'm at a computer organizing things.
I had studied radio, television, film. I moved on to working at a gaming company, and I learned more about virtual reality and how to demo virtual reality to customers and to people. So eventually after that, moved on from VR experience and gaming experience, and now I'm here at a really cool VFX company on the leading edge.
I studied animation illustration But I also wasn't really ready to move to LA at the time that I graduated. So I had a non-industry job for a while. With my background and my love for storytelling, I thought VR was a really great storytelling medium, and I really wanted to get involved. And so I did a little bit of research, and I found a program that was run by Oculus, and I think they actually still run it. It's called Oculus Launchpad. So I applied to that. I pitched them an idea, and I got accepted. And at the same time, I had found that ILM was hosting a Women in VFX panel. So I came down to do that, and I met a recruiter there, and she contacted me, and I just happened to have sort of the right skill set and background at the time that XLab was hiring. So it was really fortunate circumstances.
Well, about 85 years ago. No, so I studied archaeology is what my bachelor's degree is in. And I, when I graduated, realized that I didn't really want to pursue, the kind of graduate level research and a kind of career in academia.
I did not know that you started in archaeology, so I'm probably going to call you Indiana Jones from now on.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought too. I did have that. I had to think about what else would be possible. And so I loved games. I've loved games, my entire life. And so I actually got a job as a QA tester at Electronic Arts, and I worked in the gaming industry for about 15 years. And I remember seeing a trailer for ILMxLAB. It was like a dream, like that it was something I would have written as a aspirational, I hope somebody could do this. I applied basically on the spot, and thankfully heard back one day.
It sounds like, from what you're all telling me, you don't necessarily have to go to school to work in production. Like it doesn't have to be what your focus is. This is something that you can change and get into, even if you didn't start out in school doing this.
Absolutely. I think production is a field that it takes on skills from other fields as well, right? You don't necessarily have to have had that career path from the beginning.
What's one job that you've had in your past that you felt like really set you up for success to work in production?
Any sort of customer service oriented job. For a while after I graduated high school, I was working for California State Park System. And that is a very autonomous position.
I think the most impactful job that I held in the past was working retail for 5 years. As part of retail, you have so many different things that you're working on, more than just ringing up a customer. You need to be able to speak to different personality types. You need to be able to be very flexible based on what schedule may be coming into the day and what schedule has changed in the middle of the day.
I have worked as a swim instructor and a lifeguard, and I feel like that's really helped me in production management, especially when I was a lifeguard at Disney World. Had to be clear amongst the music, amongst the screaming of all the guests, and ensuring that you're also providing a good experience for the client and for the guests who are there.
I think, honestly, I really reflect a lot on the time I spent as a software tester. As a tester, your job is, to kind of play the game as a consumer, but also do, stress testing and find all of the bugs that are possible. Kind of learn so many skills of, the communication aspect of it, of how to be constructive in giving feedback to improve things.
We all come from very different backgrounds, but the one pillar, the one theme I noticed, it's talking to people, it's communication. That's really what it came down to.
Yeah, that's like I think probably the most important aspect of anybody coming into a production role is being able to communicate clearly, be really good at de-escalation, and really help sort of explain ideas to people.
Tell me something that you've learned from working with the production team.
I think one of the things I learned, and kind of wish I knew before too, was just how you don't have to be a perfect fit for every role. And that it's really important to kind of to put yourself out there and kind of be true to what you are passionate about and what you have put value in. That's not to say every job is going to be perfect or a perfect match, but to just keep trying to find the things that you align with, and then you'll have such a better chance of being successful at them and growing when you're surrounding yourself with people and content that you believe in.
You can explore different things, especially the arts. Even though we are a tech company, I would say I'm not in a technical role. I'm not an engineer. I am someone who deals on the more production management side, the business side.
Once I realized that there are kind of other roles inside of production that allow you to still kind of be involved in creative and still working with team members, that's when I got really excited. And I want people to have that, that same experience and know that you can come in and still be part of a team without being a creative or an engineer or somebody who's extremely technical and still have an impact on a project.
Perfect. I know we have to go because we have a meeting like right now. Thank you all so much. This was so much fun.
Thank you. Join the production team. Get
In
The
Sure.